Om Namo Narayana. Welcome back. We're going to be reading the Subala Upanishad. We're going to do this in 2 videos. It's not in 2 sections, it's all one, but looking over it, there's a great division right in the middle, and that will also keep this video a little on the shorter side. Kind of, sort of. So here we go. The first half. First half. The unqualified Brahmin. They say, what existed? He replied, neither the existed nor the non-existent. From that Tamas was born, from Tamas was born Prakriti. From its space, from space air, from air fire, from fire water, and from water earth. This became the egg, which existing for just a year became twofold, earth below and sky above. Between was divine man with 1,000 heads, eyes, feet, and arms, the Virat Purusha. He at first created the death of all creatures having 3 eyes, heads, and feet, armed with an axe. Brahma was afraid. He entered Brahma himself. He created 7 mental sons. They created 7 Virats, the procreators. His face was Brahmana. Arms were made into Kshatriya, thighs became the Vaishya, Sudra was born from the feet, air and vital air from his ear, all this from his heart. From the Apana were created Nisadas, Yakshas, etc. From the bones, mountains. From the hair, plants and trees. From the forehead, Rudra. The breath of this great being became Rik and other Vedas. Phonetics, Kalpa, grammar, etymology, meter, logic, astronomy, law, comments, glosses, etc. The golden light in which dwell the self, all worlds, made itself into 2, woman and man. Becoming Deva, created Devas. Becoming Rishi, created Rishis, etc. As well as wild and domestic animals, bull and cow, horse and mare, male and female donkey, earth and the boar. At the end, becoming fire, he burned all creatures. Earth was absorbed in water, water and fire, fire and air, air and ether, ether and sense organs, they in subtle elements, they in Prakriti, Prakriti in Mahat, Mahat in Avyakta, Avyakta in Akshara, Akshara in Tamas, it in God. Then there is neither existent nor non-existent. This is the doctrine of dissolution as given in the Vedas. In the beginning, this was non-existent. The man of wisdom does grow, meditating upon the Atman, which has no birth, no rising, nor setting, unestablished, having no sound, touch, form, taste, smell, decay, nor anything bigger. Without vital breath, face, ear, speech, mind, radiance, eyes, name, lineage, head, hands or feet, smoothness, blood, measurability, neither long, short, nor gross, nor atomic, shoreless, beyond description, not open, nor illuminable, nor closed, without inside or outside, it neither eats nor is eaten. One can realize this only by means of truth, charity, undying austerity, celibacy, detachment with 6 parts. He shall observe the 3, self-control, munificence, and compassion. His vital airs do not depart, but merge here in Brahman. In the midst of the heart is a mass of red flesh, in which is the dharana of lotus, blossoming in many ways like a lily. There are 10 holes in the heart where the vital airs are established. When the jiva is connected with prana, then he sees rivers and cities of many kinds. When with jnana he sees samana, wealth also. With vairamba sees what is seen, heard, eaten, and not eaten, visible and invisible. Then these nadis become 100. From these branch out to 72,000, in which the self sleeps and makes noises. In the second sheath he sleeps, and sees this world and the other, hears all sounds. This they call clarity. Prana defends the body. The nadis is filled with green, blue, yellow, red, and white blood. This Dharana lotus is blooming in many ways like a lily and like hair, so also the nadis is placed in the heart. The divine self sleeps in the great sheath when there are no desires, no sleep even. There are no devas or worlds, yagas, mother, father, kingsmen, no thieves or brahmana killer. All this is water. Again, by the same path, he returns to wakefulness. this Samraj. The Supreme Being assigns places to their owners. The Nadi is their link. The eye is the owner in the body, amidst the elements. What is seen in the divinity, the artery is the link. He that is in the eye, in the sun, artery, vital air, knowledge, bliss, heart, sky, he that moves inside all these is the self. Meditate on that self, that is ageless, deathless, fearless, endless. The ear is the owner in the body, amidst the elements. The guardians of the quarters, the deity. The artery is the link. He that is in the ear, audible objects in the quarters, etc. He that moves inside all this is the self. Meditate on that self who is ageless, deathless, fearless, painless, and endless. The nose is the owner of the body. The smellable is the element. The earth is the deity. The artery is the link. He that is this nose, etc. Meditate on him. The tongue is the owner of the body. The savorable is the element. Varuna is the deity. The artery is the link. He that is in the tongue, meditate on him. The skin is the owner of the body. The touchable is the elemental. Vayu is the deity. The artery is the link. He that is in the skin, meditate on him. The mind is the owner. The thinkable things are the elemental. The moon is the deity. The artery is the link. He that is in the mind, meditate on him. Intellect is the owner. The cognizable is the elemental. Brahma the deity. He that is in the intellect, meditate on him. Ego is the owner. Object of the I concept is the elemental. Rudra is the deity. He that is the ego, meditate on him. Speech is the owner. Utterable the elemental. Fire the deity. He that is, meditate on him. The mind stuff is the owner. The apprehensible is the elemental. The jiva is the deity. Meditate on him. The hands are the owners. What is grasped is the elemental. Indra the deity. He that is in the hands, meditate on him. The feet are the owners. The destination is the elemental. Vishnu is the deity. He that is in the feet, meditate on him. The male organ is the owner. The delectable is the elemental. Prajapati is the deity. He that is in the male organ, meditate on him. He that is omniscient, almighty, inner ruler, source of all, waited on by all bliss, but does not wait on bliss, waited on by Vedas and Shastras, but not waiting on them, whose food all this is, but who is never food, agent and governor of all leadings, made of food, soul of elements, made of prana, soul of sense, organs, made of mind, soul of thought, made of knowledge, soul of time, made of bliss, soul of dissolution. There is oneness. How can there be duality? No immortality. How immortality? No cognizant, inwardly or outwardly or both ways, not a mass of knowledge, neither knowing nor not knowing. In the beginning there was nothing here. These creatures are born sans root and support. Narayana is the eye as well as the visible, ear as well as the audible, nose and the sentible, tongue and the tasteable, skin and the tactile, mind and the thinkable, intellect and its contents, ego and its fields, speech and its contents. Hands, feet, their fields, anus and genital, all are Narayana. Supporter, ordainer, transformer, all is he. Adityas, Rudras, Maruts, Vasus, Asvins, Rik, Yajas, Sama, Mantras, Agni, Oblation, all are Narayana. So are also mothers, fathers, etc. Viraja, Sudarsana, Chita, Samya, Amoga, Kumara, Amrita, Satya, Madhyama, Nasira, Sura, Asura, Surya, Basvati are the names. Roars, sings, blows, rains, Varuna, Aryama, Chandra, Kala, Kavi, Dati, Brahma, Indra, days and half-days, moments as well as ages, all are he. All this is Purusha only, the past and the future, that high place of Vishnu. The sages look upon this always like the eye spread in the sky. The sages, without mental conflict, enhance its glory. This is the doctrine of liberation according to the Vedas. The unborn, soul, immortal being inside the body, whose body is the earth, and who moves inside the body unknown to the earth, who moves inside water, as the body unknown to it, who moves inside fire unknown to it, who moves inside air unknown to it, who also is inside mind, intellect, ego, mind, stuff, avyakta, akshara, death. He is the inner, sinless self, divine, Narayana. This is he, important to Vishnu, Vishnu to Brahman, he to Guru Angiras, who gave it to Raikava, who gave it to Rama. He gave it to all beings. Such is the doctrine of Nirvana, according to the Vedas. In this body of fat, flesh, moisture is placed this pure self of all within the cave. The wise behold the immortal, luminous bliss, bodiless and imponderable. Enshrined in this cave, the master of all, formless, mass, splendor, pure, detached, divinely shining, the self that exceeds and whose form is imponderable. They behold it by sublation in this body that is fickle as bubbles in water, empty like a plantain pith, a city in the sky, a painted wall, very much conditioned. And from there, and at this point, we shall pause. Two minor thoughts. One, this Upanishad is putting up there Narayana, and I always open my videos, or often I do, with Om Namo Narayana. And this is something I learned from Sri Dharmakshaya, that Narayana is the ultimate. So the other comment I have to make is one of gender. Women, I'm sorry, Hinduism really does favor men. So it says right here, the male organ is the owner, the delectable is the elemental, Prajapati, whatever. Meditate on him that is in the male organ. And where is there any mention of the female organs? Breast, vagina, where is it? Nowhere. You see that so much. So the male organ is something, but what about the female? It's kind of less than. I'm sorry, it is less than. This is one of the problems with the scriptures that I struggle with more and more, that it takes women and does degrade them. And you can say, well, women are treated equally in Sanatana Dharma. Okay, why are they not mentioned here? Is it just implied when you talk about the male organ, you're also about the female one? No, that doesn't make sense. If they're equal, where is the mention of them?